If you're interested in organically building a lead generation machine, then you're in the right place. Stick around because my next guest is sharing all about creating amazing content for your clients. Welcome back. If you're new here, I am Jen Vasquez, a Pinterest marketing strategist who brings in marketing experts on all marketing subjects so that you can take action and grow your business. Today, I'm so excited. I'm very, very excited about this. She is my own personal graphic artist and soon in next year to be probably website designer. So I'm really excited that she agreed to come on the podcast and YouTube channel. I am going to be chatting with Megan Harrington of Zestful Media and Design. Megan is the owner of Zestful Media and Design and a brand specialist specializing in client attracting design, lead generation, and seamless customer journeys. She helps female service providers and coaches stand out on an online by designing authentic and unique brands that their ideal clients will gravitate toward and build online tools that make scaling their business easier. It's a no-brainer truly to work with you. Welcome, Megan.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. This is my first podcast, so thank you so much for inviting me.
I believe this is your first podcast. You are literally the best kept secret if this is your first podcast. And I'm so excited that I get to be the one to start you off because I know you'll have many more after this.
Oh, thank you.
We've got some really juicy content. So I want to dive right in. And I always love to start with my guests on finding kind of how they got to this business. So tell me sort of how you started in your jobs, how you started working, and kind of what brought you to this business.
Okay. Well, so honestly, my college degree is in exercise science. So it is like nowhere near anything that I do. Um, when you get an exercise science degree, pretty much you either go to med school or some type of like physical therapy school. And I just didn't want to do that after college. So I kind of bounced around for a couple years. I did like 9 months in financial services, wasn't a good fit. And then eventually I decided to become a leasing agent for a new apartment community that was opening up in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. And I loved it. I loved the human interaction and I loved doing like the marketing content and creating social media posts and that kind of stuff, like flyers for our resident events, everything along the lines of like making things pretty and getting the word out about the community. I loved it. But then I realized like if I want to make some good money, I probably needed to move to real estate. So I became a realtor. And I sold new construction homes in the Charlotte area. And I did that for a few years. And again, still loved all of the marketing aspects. And I wasn't like spending a ton of time like perfecting my sales pitch, which like isn't great in real estate. And so at the exact same time as when I met my husband, Brian, who's in the US Navy, and we were living long distance for a really long time. And it just made more sense that I would move to be with him because Charlotte is a landlocked city. The US Navy is not going to be in Charlotte anytime soon. So I moved to Virginia to be with him. And at that exact point in time, I decided I was just going to try to do freelance like marketing for other realtors to see if I could help them out and still get to do like the portion of the design world that I really liked. I wanted something that I could do digitally, like anywhere in the world, no matter where Brian was moved to, that we could follow along. And so I got my first client. Her name's Megan Anderson Morris. She's in Virginia Beach. And she just kind of like trusted me with very little experience. She pretty much hired me because she knew I would make marketing that would not break any laws because I had the real estate background. And that was pretty much her big thing. She's like, I know you won't do anything that I can get my license taken away. So let's go for it. And so I started doing social media management for her, graphic design for her. And then at the time, she didn't have a website that was like branded or like optimized in any way, shape, or form. So I convinced her to let me redo that too. I'd never built a website before. And she started seeing leads like every single week come in. And then everyone in her office started noticing, all of her family members that were realtors started noticing, and they all started asking for my services. So within like about a 6-month period, I started getting a bunch of different realtor clients, pretty much being like their marketing assistant for a while. And then that was going for a few years. The pandemic hit. I was pregnant. I decided to take some time off. And then the beginning of 2021, I really wanted to focus strictly on web design, branding. And so that's what now my business is all about. So I'll do full branding packages. I'll do full websites on Kajabi and WordPress, and then graphic design in between. So yeah.
Very cool. Just very cool. I love I love talking about that with each of my guests because it's really a variety, right? We come
Yeah.
into the business that we own as entrepreneurs, oftentimes part passion and part experience, whether it's related or not. Like, right? In real estate, you deal a lot with people. As an entrepreneur, you deal a lot with people, right?
Yep.
So it there are things that transfer. So I love to hear those backstories. All right, let's just dive right into the juicy bits because
Sure.
she is a wealth of knowledge and I'm very excited that I get to ask these questions of her. So, talk about the importance of creating a recognizable brand that converts.
It's truly like the best kept secret. Most small business owners don't actually take the time to really develop it. And when you do, it's like a gold mine, I feel. And the exact story, like, oh, let's go back to Megan, the realtor, my first realtor client. She had a good business before I started working with her, but she had a website that was never bringing in leads. As soon as I like put the branding on it, we changed the messaging, and then I made sure that it was optimized to actually start bringing in leads started coming. It was like magic. It was amazing. And that's just what I keep saying again and again and again for all of my clients. Branding brings like clarity around your business, not only for yourself so that you can like promote it properly, but also for your audience to understand it, which is just a game changer. And truly, it takes about 5 to 7 touch points for someone to like recognize who you are and that you're actually doing something with this business. Sorry if you hear my dogs barking in the background.
Don't worry about it. We're all easy peasy here.
Okay. But if you are consistent with like, say, the same colors and the same fonts again and again and again, people are going to start noticing that pattern. And then they're going to start paying attention because if they associate that pattern with you and they like you, they'll start reading your content and engaging with it. And it just makes you seem more professional and you'll get their attention and they'll want to start actually engaging with you and potentially moving through all of your offers. So I just love it.
That's you know what, that's really true. Specifically the 5 to 7 touch points. We always think that I have always thought most people always think that, you're going to put a message out there, people are going to love it, resonate, and sign up. And that's really not the case.
No.
People are going to go through a decision-making process. They might stalk you for a little bit. They want to find out more and they want to they want to be convinced, right, to reach out and touch you. So I totally agree with that. What are 3 tips for those that can't yet afford to have an expert create a brand for them?
Yeah. So you're building a brand if you're putting out content, like you signing up to like start a business and actually market your business, you've already started building a brand. It's just, are you optimizing that brand or not? And the best way to start doing it is to just build out the visual portion first. So doing the same color palette every single time for all of your graphics and every place you post, including your website, doing the same fonts, exact same way. And if you're like, well, I don't know how to build out a color palette, I don't know how to pick out correct fonts, Canva. Everyone should know about Canva. And I assume if they listen to this podcast, they probably do know about Canva. Canva already does have pre-made like color palettes for you. They have font pairing suggestions, that kind of stuff. Utilize them. Obviously, it's not going to be unique to your business because they're giving it to millions of people on their platform. But if you take that one tool and just start implementing it again and again and again, you're going to start building that cohesive consistency that people can visually understand first. And that's one of the huge portions of branding. So you'll like already be started right there. And then if that's not enough and you want more branding content and you still can't afford to work with me or whatever, I have my Bosses Building Brands Facebook community where I go live at least once or twice a month doing full like hour-long trainings of really good content. I truly pride myself on like, if you're going to show up for my training, I'm going to make it worth your time for myself and for you
Yeah.
to really like get people there. And so come join Bosses Building Brands. You can also promote your business inside the group. So like you could promote and potentially get your own leads and learn about branding all in one. And then I also join my email list if you can, because I'm obviously talking about the free training, so you know when they are, but other free resources, other branding tips, so that you can just kind of get my knowledge in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. And I will say that, her community is insanely good. And there's like thousands of people in there, but she actually takes care of this community. I've been a part of a lot of private Facebook groups that are just there. They're kind of slugs sitting there, and it's not valuable, right? I don't have time to be going in there. Your group is literally one of maybe 3 or 4 groups that I regularly look at because it's such high value and it's free, but it's high value. So I definitely agree with that. And her email list, she's very, I love your emails. They literally make me chuckle out loud. Like you're
Good.
very you're very authentic and you share of yourself, and it's very valuable. Like you're not someone who wastes time, which I really appreciate. So, all right.
Okay. Thank you.
Explain explain how important. I mean, I discovered her community and have heard about her, and then I ended up working with her because of it. So it is really truly valuable. In fact, if you go see all of my new branding, I'm trying to update it everywhere. It is a longer process than I expected. Thankfully, working with her, she gives me a whole list of things and I'm just checking off the box. Um,
Good.
all of my branding colors, all of my fonts, all of that stuff from recent content is all because Megan has made me more of a business, in my opinion. All right. Explain how important an effective client journey is for service-based businesses.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge because if you don't have a streamlined process, people will fall off. And once they fall off, it is so hard to get them back. So I always try to think of it as like, if you know your endpoint, you have to work backwards and figure out, okay, how am I going to get them to that endpoint? Usually, obviously, the endpoint's going to be probably your highest paid service or your biggest ticket course, whatever it is. And then you have to think, okay, like the higher the value, the more touch points you have to get to convince them. And like you said at the beginning, people are stalking you and watching you. I've had several clients who have been referred to me, but they sat back and watched for months before they actually like jumped on the referral and reached out for a free consult. So, how do you nurture them and through all of those phases to get them to that point? If you're selling really high ticket, you probably need some low tickets that are like no brainers to just show how much you can provide for their business so that if they like see a transformation at $100, imagine the transformation they could get at $1,000. And so all of the little touch points in between just make it so impactful. And then once you get there, when they're clients, you're serving them and you're keeping a high level of service still, they'll become raving fans. And when they're raving fans, you no longer have to market yourself because they're doing it for you, which is like the dream to just have business continue to come and you're barely marketing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. One thing that you touched on, which is really good, is that you continue with those touch points even after they're clients. I
Mhm.
think a lot of us, the goal is to get clients, but what we don't keep in mind is the more that we have those touch points after they've already spent money with us, makes them feel like you're a better value than even what they paid for. And they will not only potentially work with you again, but they'll refer people to you. So I have had clients say the same thing to me as I know that they've said to you, where we heard about you because Jen loved everything you did for her and you're still helping. Like
Yep.
it is really valuable.
Yep. And if they typically, if clients are going to pay, they're paying clients. So they'll keep coming back if you have more offers. And then you'll start learning about your audience and what they truly need. So then you can create more offers that are going to fill those holes. So,
Exactly.
yep.
Well, let's dive into the meat of it. I mean, all of those things did lead up to it, but how can someone take first steps to creating an organic lead generation machine?
Yeah. So first you need an offer. You need some type of free offer or knowledge that you can help them with to see just like a mini transformation. And if you're like, I don't know what to provide, think about the paid offer you really want them to purchase and what's like a little section you can pull out of it or something that they need to do prior to actually purchasing that higher offer and make that the free one. So once you have clarity on that, create it. And then you need to obviously make like a funnel. So the landing page, that kind of stuff, and the email marketing to get it up and running so that you can easily just send it out and they can register. But then the follow-up is like, you have to get it in front of people. Like you have to put it literally
They,
everywhere.
if you build it, they will come is
Yeah.
not true.
It's not true. You have to put it everywhere. When we were sitting in your master class or your challenge a couple days ago,
Yes.
like keywords everywhere, like the same thing
Yes.
with freebies. Your freebie should be everywhere, but you have to like optimize the inside of the freebie. So like, it's not just, oh, here's my list of 10 reasons to, I don't know, declutter your kitchen. You have to like provide a little bio for yourself in that resource, or maybe like have a call to action after they've done that, like the next step you want them to take. And then if you get it in front of people, it's a numbers game. The more you get in front of people, the more people will opt in, and then they'll go through the entire client journey. So
I totally agree with that. And because a lot of my listeners are using Pinterest, make sure that that lead magnet landing page is your website, not a, ConvertKit or MailChimp or one of those things. If you're using Pinterest, you want it to get them, you want that to be a funnel that it has the most value, and you're going to get the most views if it's connected to your website. So just a little tip, I always like to make sure I'm including when it comes to
I
Pinterest.
actually changed the link that I dropped for you after your training yesterday to do that. I was
I
like, okay, I can easily put this together. Let me go do this. And I did it
I'm
for
so
you.
happy you did that, because you're starting this whole journey with Pinterest. I think it's really, really important that if you're gonna spend time on a platform, not only learn how to use it effectively, but let's learn how to use it with the least amount of time and the biggest bang for your buck. And when it comes to Pinterest, you want to have your website connected to that. So,
Absolutely.
all right. I do ask this of all of my clients because I think it's really helpful to know. And if we don't have whatever your answers are on our radar, maybe it will help us in our business too. So, what 3 things have helped you grow your business? It could be tools, advice, really anything.
So the first one I would say is my Facebook group and growing a Facebook group. And I love my Facebook group because, as you said, it can take a lot of content to get all those touch points, but in a Facebook group, it is not falling all on you. So I obviously provide a lot of content in there with all of my trainings, but every single day I have 4 to 5 other people who are starting discussions, which makes the whole group active and alive. So that's the best thing, is having the Facebook group, having that small community where I can provide value, easily get my free resources out there in front of people in strategic ways. It's been the best. So if you're a service provider and you don't have a Facebook group, I highly recommend you do it and you figure out how to grow it super, super well. Going right along with that is like knowing that you don't know everything probably when it comes to running a business, unless you've been like a corporate CEO. And even then, there's still probably things as a corporate CEO you don't know, like how to use Canva, you know? So
Perfect point.
right?
Perfect.
Like, so as soon as I realized, like, I don't know everything that I need to know that's going to get me to that next level, and I actually either have to go spend a lot of sweat, equity, and time to learn it myself, or I could pay people to shorten the process so that they could teach me how to do their strategies, or they could just do whatever I need done for me. It's been a game changer. Obviously, yes, no one wants to part with their money when it comes to investing in their business, but like, think about how much time and energy and like thinking things are half done and it's just constantly weighing on you. Like sometimes that release of like it's taken care of is like truly the best. Or like I finally learned how to do this and it's working is a great thing. So my Facebook group, I actually enrolled in a course called Facebook Group Growth Academy with Ali Bloom and Katie Patterson, and their strategy I got from 0 to 800 in a month. Like
Yeah, that's insane. And we're
insane.
going to talk a little bit later about how you did it. Like there's a way that you can go ahead and work with you to find out how all you did all this stuff. So we'll
Yeah.
touch on that in a second. And then
Yep.
the last one?
And then it's just understanding like your client struggles. You truly have to understand like where they are at and what they need and how you can speak to them and how you can solve all of those problems. So you want to have to be able to communicate that you can solve the problems, which can be a challenge. But then you also like, once you see what their problems are, you can then create offers to solve the problem. So it might not be like initially, I never thought I'd be a course creator, but then I realized like after I handed over a brand package, people are like, well, what do I do now? It's like, well, go create in Canva. Well, what's Canva? Okay, I'll create a Canva course to teach you how to use Canva, you know?
Yeah.
So just working with people and like asking them what they're struggling with, you could then create other offers, which could be just other revenue streams, which is amazing.
Awesome. Well, before we get to the gift that Megan has so generously shared with, or is sharing with all of our listeners and watchers, tell everyone about your services and specifically touch on that business jumpstart.
Sure, I'll end with that one since it's like the big one right now.
Yeah.
So I have kind of two avenues you can work with me. I have my done for you services and I have my courses. So for done for you, I kind of have two tiers. I have like the semi-custom, which is usually a pretty fast turnaround, but you're not getting like the full strategy, full shebang, which Jen, you were one of the
It
brand
was, I'm not kidding. She
clients.
calls it semi-custom, and I want to be very specific with you. It felt totally custom to me.
Yeah.
I was shocked that we didn't really have like a face-to-face conversation, but I answered questions and she literally brought what was in my head to life. It is, for me, it was business changing. So sorry, I just had
Oh,
to touch on
good. Yeah,
that.
it's a brand new service that was actually stemmed from one of my course clients who like I have a course called Understand Your Brand where I teach someone how to build their brand. I don't teach how to design logos because that's full in and of itself really hard to do. So she had tried to do her logos herself and she was like, "Can you just make them more professional? I want to use these fonts. I want to use these colors. Can you bring it together in a more professional way?" And I said, "Sure, I'll give you a discount. Like, absolutely, I'll do that for you." And then that is what put the light bulb on of like brand your way. And so in 5 days, literally through questionnaires and videos every single day, we develop your entire brand personality, your full color palette, all of your fonts, and then a beautiful set of logos so that you feel like you have a completely, it is going to be unique. I mean, I pull from like 200 different color palettes. There's like 18 different or 200 different fonts. There's like 18 different mood boards and color palettes. You get a unique looking brand. It's just more streamlined than the full custom branding but we can go there. Like if you want to take the time and the energy and make sure it's absolutely perfect, I have that route as well. And then I also have obviously WordPress designing and Kajabi building. And I'm in 2023 bringing on a brand your way like process for funnels. So to be able to build out a freebie funnel or a like masterclass registration funnel in just 3 to 4 days, which would be awesome. So that's coming. And then the course aspect, I have my Creating Canva mini course where you can learn how to create in Canva. And then obviously Understand Your Brand, which I already touched on, to build out your entire brand. But the best thing that I have right now is my Cyber Week offer, which is called the Online Business Jumpstart Bundle. And it is pretty much the action plan I put in place for all of 2022. I'll be completely frank that the end of 2021, I was like, had like one, maybe two clients coming in. It was like, okay, but I was like, I want to make this a business. Like I want to be self-employed. So at the end of 2021, I like wrote out like my goals, everything I wanted to do, how many times I was going to post on social media, how I was going to grow my Facebook group. I wrote it all out and then I implemented it and it worked. I 5x my income in 1 year. I grow my group by hundreds of members every month. In October, we had 700 new members join Facebook group. Like it's insane. So I decided to like write down the full action plan, create a live seminar that people can come and learn the action plan, learn all the strategies I implemented, and then get also like a 70-page workbook of things that you can fill out and reflect on your business. There's goal setting, there's content creation, there's lead generation. There's so much in there, investing in your business, how to stay organized in your business. Like it is essentially a business plan in a workbook. It is awesome. So that is only $99 right now. The live seminar is going to be on Monday, December 5th. If you were hearing this afterwards and you're like, oh, I want it, let me know. I can still get it for you. It's going to be all recorded, put in a course platform. You can get the action book and then you can start planning for the rest of the month so that January 2023, you are going to be hitting the ground running. So
I'm so excited about that. But tell everyone about what your freebie is and how it will help our subscribers' business.
Yeah. So I have my brand building blueprint, and that is pretty much either a little mini training or PDF resource, depending on how you like to learn, all about the strategy I use to build recognizable brands for my clients, which has led them to build six-figure businesses, be booked out months in advance. And it's pretty much like step 1, step 2, step 3, so that you know what to do. And then obviously all the benefits that you can reap from branding as well inside of it. So definitely snag that.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your valuable
Definitely.
time and your advice. I mean, time is money, and I so appreciate you coming and sharing your amazing advice with everyone. What's the best way that they can connect with you in case anyone wants to take the conversation further?
Yeah, so on that same page to register for the blueprint, right underneath is the call to action to join the Facebook group. So you can join me in Bosses Building Brands over there. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, soon to be Pinterest, with Jen's guidance.
Yay!
But through my website, you can also book free consults as well. That's like the best way to get some time on my schedule to talk about any of your needs. And if you're like, I don't know the best route for me, schedule a free consult. I'll point you in the right direction.
That sounds amazing. So I do want to say if anybody found really good advice and tips, which I know you probably will, we would really love to have a review on our podcast. We're trying to grow the reviews, as many of you know. And so if you wouldn't mind doing that, we would really appreciate it. It'll only take you a few minutes. Now, I believe that you need to take any time that you get some education, you need to put some time on your calendar to implement. So definitely go out there and do something good for your business, like downloading Megan's free gift and definitely joining her BBB community because it is really, really valuable. All right. We'll see you later. Bye.